All right, so Google just had their GDC, and sure enough, they announced something gaming. It's pretty much what people expected. It wasn't actually anything more, not like an actual box or system of some sort. It's basically Project Stream is now Stadia. Yeah, you heard that right. That's Stadia. That's the name they're going with. I hope that changes. I hope that's just like Comcast Xfinity. Stadia, give it an actual name for their service. I don't know. It's not catchy. Or to me at least it's not. I mean, personal opinion. Everyone has their different opinion. Some people like the Nintendo Switch. Some people may not like the name of the Switch. Or the Xbox. Or the PlayStation. I just see Stadia as, okay. Your marketing team did a real good job on that one. But it is what it is. Maybe in 10 years, when it's the hot thing to buy, or buy your games on, it won't even matter. But let's talk about it. Let me just go ahead and say, I'm not a fan of streaming games. I did try Project Stream. I did like it. I have tried PlayStation Now. I did like it. But it's not perfect. And I don't know how long it will take to become perfect. But you have to start somewhere. It's like PSVR or VR systems. They're not perfect, but they're still enjoyable. I still like to play them. So it's just like you have to kind of wait for it to get better. And you know what? That's probably what they said when the Atari came out. It's video games. It's not perfect, but it's all you know at the time. So let's talk about the benefit that they're going with. Playing the game any place instantly, basically. You click on the game, you can play it. That's awesome. If you want to stop playing and play on another device, pick it up, it saves where you were. Awesome again. Would I play it on my cell phone? They showed it. I wouldn't. You'd have to have good Wi-Fi, have to carry a controller around with you, and I really hope the Wi-Fi doesn't drop at all. That's probably not realistic. Maybe, maybe when 5G comes out, unlimited data would be fine, but imagine your data caps. So you're not playing it mobile. And if you're not playing it mobile, you're relying on Wi-Fi. So really, if you're at a place with good Wi-Fi, it's probably a place that you could bring your laptop maybe. So I don't think this is really going to beat out the Switch, which you don't need internet. The games will work perfectly fine. No lag or anything like that. Also, they're looking to do 4K, 60 frames a second, HDR, awesome. Future, 8K, 120 frames, more awesome. But yet again, you have to have that internet service. When I use the Project Stream, I have slow internet. So, obviously I'm coming from a place where I have like 15, I think it is. And it worked. I was able to play, but the resolution would drop heavily. Sometimes I have audio disconnect and a little lag here and there. Which is fine for Odyssey, Assassin's Creed. But for a game like Call of Duty, would you really want to take a resolution hit when you're looking down at a sniper or running from somebody? Probably not. So, I mean, that was the trial. It probably will get better for the main launch, but at the same time, the main launch is going to have, well, won't necessarily have millions, but it could have millions of people playing the same game. How is it going to handle then? Who knows? Google's hoping for the best. I'm going to try it out when it comes out. But that's the other thing, is how much is it going to be when it comes out? They didn't announce any pricing. I hope it's a service. I hope it's like $15 a month. Any games on the service you get. That'd be awesome. How developers will get paid probably won't be. So it might be more Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus type thing, where you have to buy the game from the developer on the service for $50 or $60. And then you have to pay a monthly fee to use Stadia or something like that to actually use the service anywhere you want. Otherwise, maybe you just download the game to your computer and play it. I kind of hope that's an option. I hope there's an option to where later on they decide, you know what, for your home console, if your home computer can handle it, we download the game, you can play it on your own. If you want to play on the browser, you can. That's probably not going to be the case, but it'd be nice if you buy the game, you actually get not physical, but you actually get a more permanent way to keep the game in case, Ubisoft decides, I don't want the game on the service anymore, and they take it off. All right, I just bought the game. So there's still a lot of questions, and we won't know. But they did say the console is going to release... The service is going to release this year. So that's awesome. So that means we must be getting more news soon. I wonder if Google's going to be at E3. I mean, if you're going to announce games for this year, E3 sounds like the place to be. So that'd be fun to know. That gives us one more thing to look for E3. Moving on. They did describe. They showed off their controller. Had a couple different colors. It kind of looks exactly like the leaks from a couple weeks ago. So looks like leaks are getting really reliable lately. It looks cool. Has a couple extra buttons for, Stadia's like special features. I probably wouldn't use it though. It doesn't look too comfortable. I think I'd stick with something like the Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller I use on my computer now. And they said they have support for basically any USB controller. So that covers pretty much what you need. PS4, Xbox One, Pro controller. So you have different ways to play, which is nice. They did show Doom Eternal. That's going to be a game that's going to look nice. Obviously, Ubisoft is going to probably release all their games onto it. So they're getting behind it. Their first-party games, they said they're going to work with their own studio, Stadia, and who knows? They've never made games before, so we don't know what they have in store, if the games will be good enough to be like, all right, now I have to try the service. Because they don't have any franchises or anything like that, so it's kind of like, brand new place, open up, let's hope for the best. So, overall, it was a long presentation. They showed a lot of features. The ability to stream your game on YouTube in 4K, awesome. At the same time, if you're watching someone play that game, or watching a trailer from like Ubisoft's official YouTube channel like they showed on the video, you can actually click play from the video and instantly jump into playing your own version of that game if you own it, obviously. So that's cool. What else did they show? They had a bunch of other features like being able to look up hints on how to play the game on YouTube while you're playing it. It'll match you up with the scene. I don't know how perfect that's going to be, but that would be kind of cool. Playing a game, you're stuck, really stuck, and you're like, I need help. Google Assist finds the video, shows you how someone did it, and then you go and do it. I don't really like doing that unless I've been playing for like an hour and a half and can't get past the game. But that's a cool little feature. It just, nothing too big. I feel like it's one of these services that to really appreciate it, you're going to have to like play it for like a month and just play it and be like, all right, will it replace my console? Maybe, but only if you flawlessly play and nothing ever happens to you would I be like, all right, I don't need to buy another console. All my AAA games are coming here unless it's like something strictly from Sony, strictly from Microsoft, or strictly from Nintendo. So it's like, it's just a fourth pillar, and unless their first-party games are that good and their service works that good at a fair price, I think it's going to have a hard time. I think if anything, it's just going to push Microsoft and PlayStation to battle them, and I wouldn't say beat Google, because Google has so much money that they could probably just start buying up studios to get better first parties. But when you're comparing the games that PlayStation makes, their first party games are going to be better. So if Sony comes out with the same type of service that works almost as flawless, then I would sign up for Sony before I sign up for Google. Or say Nintendo finally decides, yeah, I know. Say Nintendo decides, you know what, we're done making consoles too. We're just going to stream all our games on our own service. Okay. I would sign up for Nintendo before I signed up for theirs. I just see that there's so much, I guess, up in the air that you just don't know. It's going to be interesting. I hope it does well in the sense that I would like to be able to play games wherever I go without having to have special hardware. But I don't think that we'll ever come to the day where we have one thing that just rules it all. The only thing I could imagine is maybe Google gets to the point where instead of them controlling the system, they lease it to companies like PlayStation or Xbox to have their own service. But game developers might like the Stadia service because maybe there's less fees they have to pay because they're not producing it for a console. It's just like, well, I guess they would have to be renting out the spot for their game. So yeah, I don't know what benefit this would have for the developers other than, like Google said, because it runs off of their servers, they can make the game as big as they want and just add more slots for the game instead of being constricted to a console, where they're saying that their console's Stadia's GPU is 10.7 compared to Sony and my Xbox's 4 and 6 teraflops. Okay, so it's a lot more powerful than those two consoles. So it would draw third parties to be like, all right, we won't make a console, we'll just make it for that. I mean, to me, I'd buy it for the console and keep it knowing it's going to always work. So, yeah. Future, so unclear what's going to happen. I think we're probably going to come down to where Xbox creates their own little box for streaming purposes, and you buy the box, you get the service, and the games stream right to it. PlayStation, possibly the same thing. I would prefer a service where you get their box, you can download the games to your console, and you play it like any game you would, and when you're done, you delete it, and you download a new game to play. That type of service. Only that way you buy the game, you're not relying on Wi-Fi, and you're playing. Wow. So, in the end, well, Google's doing something new to shake up the industry. They have the funds to hold on for a while. Depending on how it makes them money, maybe they stick around. If not, I think they may force Sony and Microsoft to kind of go that route with their consoles. But Sony at least has a lot of first-party games that are awesome. Xbox has bought a lot of gaming companies to become their first party, and Nintendo does too. So it's still going to be a multi-console or multi-service video game future. It just depends on how that goes. I do say, probably in 30 years, everything is streaming. At least for most parts of the world. I would like to see a future where you have the option. You can either stream the game or download the game to your computer if your computer can handle it, which for the most part, I think, maybe at a lower resolution than the stream, but at least it would be flawless. The resolution wouldn't go up and down and no lag or anything like that. So, basically, it's going to be like, look at how Atari games look to today's games. Well, maybe the way you play today's games will look the same way to what people played in 30 years. So, here's hoping to see how things go. Alright, that's it. I rambled off. This is more of just a video about my thoughts on it, and yeah. I think it's the future, but I don't think it's for me yet. I think there's still a lot of work. So, let me know in the comments what you think. Are you excited for an all-streaming service? Do you think it's going to work perfectly enough where it won't be annoying sometimes because things drop or resolutions drop? Or would you just prefer to grab your Switch and play without having to worry about internet? So, yeah. Have a good night. Keep on gaming. If you liked the video, you know what to hit. Share, like, subscribe, watch my other videos, and have a good night.